Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Water purification or purification of water. The objective of purification of water is to remove the dissolved and suspended impurities of water. The impurities of waters are divided into two parts: dissolved and suspended. Dissolved parts are divided into two parts further: inorganic and organic. Inorganic is further divided into two: gases and salts, while organics are the ammonia and suspended. The second part is the suspended. Suspended is divided into two parts. This is the inorganic and organic. Inorganic are the particles of sand, clay, and slate, and organics are divided into further two parts: plant and animals. Animals, dead leaves and algae. Plants are dead and leaves and algae. Animals are bacteria, viruses, ova, insects, etc. The removal of the dissolved and suspended impurities of water can be dealt under certain headings. Water purification process by which undesired chemicals, compounds, organic and inorganic materials and biological contaminants are removed from water. That process also includes distillation, the conversion of a liquid into vapor to condense it back to liquid form, and deionizations, ion removal through the extractions of dissolved salts. One major purpose of water purification is to provide clean drinking water. Water purification also meets the needs of medical, pharmacological, chemicals, and industrial applications. For clean and potable water. The purification procedure reduces the concentrations of contaminants such as suspended particles, parasites, bacteria, algae, viruses, and fungi. Water purification takes place on scales from the large, for example, for entire city, to the small individual household. This is a typical water treatment plant in a large metropolitan area. This is a diagram. Most communities rely on natural bodies of waste water as intake sources of water purification and for day-to-day use. In general, these resources can be classified as groundwater or surface water and commonly include underground aquifers, creeks, streams, rivers, and lakes, where with recent technology advancement, oceans and saltwater seas also have been used as alternative water sources for drinking. The removal of the dissolved and suspended impurities of water can be dealt under two headings: A. Purification of water on a large scale of three steps: storage, filtration, and chlorination. B. Purification of water in a small scale by three steps: number 1, boiling; number 2, using chemicals; and number 3, domestic filtration. Determining water quality. Historical evidence suggests that water treatment was recognized and practiced by ancient civilization. The basic treatments for water purification have been documented in Greek and Sanskrit writings, and Egyptians used alum for precipitation as early as 1500 BC. In modern times, the quality to which water must be purified is typically set by government agencies, whether set locally, nationally, or internationally. Government standards typically set maximum concentrations of harmful contaminants that can be allowed in safe water. Since it is nearly impossible to examine water simply on the basis of appearance, multiple processes such as physical, chemical, or biological analysis have been developed to test contamination level. Levels of organic and inorganic chemicals such as chloride, copper, manganese, sulfates, and zinc, microbial pathogenesis, radioactive materials, and dissolved and suspended solids, as well as pH, odor, color, and taste are some of the common parameters analyzed to assess water quality and contamination level. Regular household methods such as boiling water for using an activated carbon filter can remove some water contaminants. Although those methods are popular because they can be used widely and inexpensively, they often do not remove more dangerous contaminants. For example, natural spraying water for artesian wells was historically considered clean for all practical purposes, but it came under scrutiny during the first decade of the 21st century because of worries over pesticides, fertilizers, and other chemicals from the surfaces entering well. As a result, artesian wells were subjected to the treatment and batteries of tests, including tests for the parasite Cryptosporidium. Not all people have access to safe drinking water. According to 2017 report by the UN World Health Organization, 2.1 billion people lack access to safe and reliable drinking water supply at home. 88% of the 4 billion annual causes of diarrhea reported worldwide have been attributed to a lack of sanitary drinking water. Each year, approximately 525,000 children under age 5 die from diarrhea, the second leading cause of death, and 1.7 million are sickened by diarrheal diseases caused by unsafe water coupled with inadequate sanitation and hygiene. Process. Most water used in industrialized countries is treated at water treatment plants. Although the method those plants use in pre-treatment depend on their size and the severity of the contamination, those practices have been standardized to ensure general compliance with national and international regulations. The majority of water is purified after it has been pumped from its natural sources or directed by pipelines into holding tanks. After the water has been transported to a central location, the process of purification begins. Pre-treatment. In pre-treatment, biological contaminants, chemicals, and other materials are removed from water. The first step is that process is screening, which removes large debris such as tag sticks and trash from the water to be treated. Screening is generally used when purifying surface water such as that from lakes and rivers. Surface water presents a greater risk of having been polluted with large amounts of contaminants. Pre-treatment may include the addition of chemicals to control the growth of bacteria in pipes and tanks, and stage that incorporates sand filtration, which helps suspended solids settle to the bottom of a storage tank. Preconditioning, in which water with high mineral content, hard water, is treated with sodium carbonate, is also part of the pre-treatment process. During that step, sodium carbonate is added to the water to force out calcium carbonate, which is one of the main components in shell of marine life and is an active ingredient in agricultural time. Preconditioning ensures that hard water, which leaves mineral deposits behind that can clog pipes, is altered to achieve the same consistency as soft water. Pre-chlorination, which is often the final step of pre-treatment and standard practice in many parts of the world, has been questioned by scientists. During the pre-chlorination process, chlorine is applied to raw water that may contain high concentrations of natural organic matter. This organic matter reacts that chlorination during the disinfection process and can result in the formation of disinfection byproducts such as trihalomethases, holycetic acids, chloride, and bromate. Exposure and DBPS in drinking water can lead to health issues. Worries stem from the practices, possible association with stomach, bladder cancer, and the hazards of releasing chlorine into the environment. Other purification steps are after pre-treatment, chemical treatment, and refinement can occur. That process includes coagulation, a step in which chemicals are added that causes small particles suspended in the water to clump together. Folliculation follows, which mixes the water with large paddles to the coagulate. particles can be brought together into the larger clumps that slowly settle on the bottom of the tank or basin. After the majority of the suspended particles have settled, water exits the folliculation basin and then enters the sedimentation basin. Sedimentation basins move treated waters along through the purification process while allowing remaining particles to settle. Sludge forms that appear on the floor of the tank and remove the treated from that basin. Water is moved to the next step, filtration, which removes the remaining suspended particles and unsettled fluid in addition to many microorganisms, algae. Disinfection is the final step in water purification. During that step, harmful microbes such as bacteria, viruses, protozoa are killed through the addition of disinfectant chemicals. Disinfection usually involves a form of chlorine, especially chloramines, as chlorine dioxide. Chlorine is a toxic gas resulting in some danger from release associated with its uses. To avoid those risks, some water treatment plants use ozone, ultraviolet radiations, or hydrogen peroxide disinfection instead of chlorine. Other purification methodologies include ultrafiltration for specific dissolved substances, ion exchange to remove metal ions, and fluoridation to prevent tooth decay in certain areas of the world that do not have access to water treatment. Plants' alternative methods of purification must be refused. Those methods include boiling, granular activated carbon filtering, distillation, reverse osmosis, and direct contact membrane distillation. Industrial water purification. In addition to drinking and domestic uses, industries also consume significant amounts of water. Chemicals, petroleum, food processing, and textile industries, for example, require water for manufacturing, processing, heating, cooling, washing, rinsing, and other applications. Such industrial systems require treated water, and the lack of appropriate purification can lead to issues such as scaling, corrosion, deposition, bacterial growth within piping or processing equipment, and poor product quality. In addition to conventional water treatment processes, industrial water purification may also involve specialized techniques such as electrodeionization, ion exchange, membrane system, ozone treatment, evaporation, and ultraviolet irradiation. Technology selection depends upon the raw water quality and intended the industrial area. Saline water purification. The vast majority of communities rely on fresh water resources for drinking and domestic water supplies. However, we are shrinking freshwater reserves and rising water demands complicated by natural factors such as drought, floods, and climate change impacts. Several countries have begun to utilize oceans and inland seas as alternative water sources. Desalination technologies that remove salts and minerals from seawater are emerging and produce potable water suitable for drinking and domestic purposes. Reverse osmosis, vacuum distillation, multi-stage flash distillation, freeze-thaw, and electrolysis are gaining importance for saltwater purification. Such processes usually involve higher energy consumption and are comparatively more expensive than conventional freshwater treatment processes. Numerous efforts are underway to make desalination method cost-effective and economically viable. System configurations and improvements. The size and capacity of water treatment systems are very widely ranging, from simple household units to small facilities that serve manufacturing industries to large-scale centralized water treatment plants dedicated to cities and towns. Selection of specific treatment processes depend upon factors such as intake, water quality, degree of purification required, intended water use, flow capacity requirements, government regulations, available capital, and the operations and maintenance costs involved. Treated water is distributed and consumers via water distribution systems involving pipes, pumps, boosters, sanitation, storage tanks, and associated appliances. In an effort to meet stringent environmental regulations and to satisfy the rising water demands of growing population, many water treatment plants have employed smart technologies to increase operations reliability, water sustainability improvement, which can increase the energy efficiency of a plant and reduce its carbon footprint. Often include the optimization of chemical use, a minimization of waste generation, and the use of solar or wind energy. Additionally, with the advancement of sophisticated technologies, water treatment processes have incorporated complex instrumentation and processes control system, use of online analytical instruments, supervisory control and data acquisition system, and dedicated software have resulted in automation and computerization of treatment processes with the permission for remote operations. Such innovations can improve systems operation significantly to achieve consistent water quality with minimal supervision, especially in large system configuration. Water treatment. Water in rivers, lakes is really clean enough for human consumption if it is not first treated or purified. Groundwater often need some level of treatment to render it potable. The primary objective of water treatment is to protect the health of the community. Potable water must, of course, be free of harmful microorganisms and chemicals, but public supplies should also be aesthetically desirable so that consumers will not be tempted to use water from another more attractive but unprotected sources. The water should be crystal clear with almost no turbidity, and it should be free of objectionable color, odor, and taste. For domestic supplies, water should not be corrosive, nor should it deposit troublesome amounts of scale and stains on plumbing fixtures. Industrial requirements may be even more stringent. Many industries provide special treatment on their own premises. The type of extended treatment required to obtain potable water depends on the quality of those sources. The better the quality, the less treatment is needed. Surface waters usually need more extensive treatment than does groundwater because most streams, rivers, and lakes are polluted to some extent, even in areas remote from human population. Surface water contains suspended silt, organic material, decaying vegetation, and microbes from animal waste. Groundwater, on the other hand, is usually free of microbes and suspended solids because of natural filtration as the water moves through soil, though it often contains relatively high concentrations of dissolved minerals from its direct contact with soil and rock. Water is treated in a variety of physical and chemical methods. Treatment of a surface water begins with intake screen to prevent fish and debris from entering the plant and damaging pumps and other components. Conventional treatments of water primarily involves clarification and disinfection. Clarification removes most of turbidity, making the water crystal clear. Disinfection, usually the final step in the treatment of drinking water, destroys pathogenic microbes. Groundwater does not often need clarification, but it should be disinfected as a precaution to protect public health. In addition to clarification and disinfection, the process of softening, aeration, carbon absorption, and fluoridization may be used for certain public water sources. Desalination processes are used in areas where fresh water supplies are not readily available. Clarification, sedimentation. Impurities in water either dissolved or suspended. The suspended material reduces clarity, and the easiest way to remove it is to rely on gravity. Under still conditions, suspended particles that are denser than water gradually settle to the bottom of basin or tank. This is called plain sedimentation. Long-term water storage is in reservoir reduces the amount of suspended sediment and bacteria. Nevertheless, additional clarification is usually needed in treatment plant. Sedimentation tanks are built to provide a few hours of storage or detention times as the water slowly flows from tank and inlet to outlet. It is impractical to keep water in the tanks for a longer period because of the large volumes that must be treated. Sedimentation tanks may be rectangular or circular in shape and are typically about 3 meters and 10 feet deep. Several tanks are usually provided and arranged for parallel side-by-side operation. Influent water flowing in is uniformly distributed as interstory tank. Clarified effluent is skimmed from the surface as it flows over special baffles called weavers. The layer of concentrated solids that collects at the bottom of the tank is called sludge. Modern sedimentation tanks are equipped with mechanical scrapers that continuously push the sludge toward a collection hopper where it is pumped out. The efficiency of sedimentation tanks for removing suspended soils depends more on its surface area than its depth or volume. A relatively shallow tank with a large surface area will be more effective than a deep tank that holds the same volume but has a smaller surface area. Most sedimentation tanks are not less than 3 meters deep in order to provide enough room from a sludge layer or a scraper mechanism. A technique called shallow depth sedimentation is often applied in modern treatment plants. In this method, several prefabricated units or models of tube settlers are installed near the top of tanks in order to increase their effective surface area. Coagulation. Suspended particles cannot be removed completely by plain settling. Large, heavy particles settle out readily, but smaller and lighter particles settle very slowly or in some cases do not settle at all. Because of this, sedimentation step is usually preceded by chemical process known as coagulation. Chemical coagulations are added to the water to bring non-settling particles together into larger, heavier masses of solids called floc. Aluminum sulfate, alum, is the most common coagulant used for water purification. Other chemicals such as ferric sulfate or sodium aluminate may also be used. Coagulation is usually accomplished into two stages: rapid mixing and slow mixing. Rapid mixing serves to disperse the coagulants evenly throughout the water and to ensure complete chemical reaction. Sometimes this is accomplished by adding the chemical just before the pump, allowing the pump impellers to do the mixing. Usually, though, a small flush mix tanks provides about 1 minute of detention time after the flush max. Longer period of gentle agitation is needed to promote particles collisions to enhance the growth of follicle. The gentle agitation or slow mixing is called flocculation. It is accomplished in a tank that provides at least a half hour of detention time. The flocculation tank has wooden paddle type mixers that slowly rotate on a horizontal motor driven shafter. After flocculation, the water flows into the sedimentation tank. Some small water treatment plants combine coagulation with sedimentation in a single prefabricated steel unit called solids contact tank. Filtration. Even after coagulation and flocculation, sedimentation does not remove enough suspended impurities from water to make it crystal clear. The remaining non-settling flow causes noticeable turbidity in the water and can shield microbes from disinfection. Filtration is a physical process that removes these impurities from water by pre-coating it downward through a layer or bed pores. Granular materials such as sand, suspended particles becomes trapped within these pores or the filter media, which also harmful protozoa that natural color. Most surface water supplies require filtration of the coagulation and sedimentation steps. For surface waters with low turbidity and color, however, a process of direct filtration which is not preceded by sedimentation will be caused. Two types of sand filter is used: slow rapid and slow filters. Much surface area that rapid filters are difficult to clean. Most modern water treatment plants use rapid dual media filters following coagulation and sedimentation. A dual media filter consists of a layer anthracite coal above a layer in pine sand. The upper layer of coal traps most of the large floc, and the finer sand grains in the lower layer trap smaller impurities. This process is called in-depth filtration, as the impurities are not simply screened out or removed at the surface of the filter bed, as is the case in slow end filters. In order to enhance in-depth filtration, so-called mixed media filters are used in some treatment plants. These have third layer consisting of fine-grained dense mineral garnet at the bottom of the bed. Rapid filters are housed in box-like concrete structures with multiple boxes arranged on both sides of piping gallery. A large tank called a clear well is usually built under the filters to hold the clarified water temporarily. A layer of coarse gravel usually support the filter's media. When clogged by particles removed from the water, the filter bed must be cleaned by backwashing. In the backwash process, the directions of flow through the filter is observed. Clean water is forced upward through the media, expanding the filter bed slightly and carrying away the impurities and washed trout. In the backwash, water is distributed uniformly across the filter bottom by an under drain system of forated pipes or false valves. Thank you.